Sorry, your name. Francis. Viewers out there, you're welcome to Sports Orbit, reaching from Leadership TV. My name is Afacho. Salufu Usman is right here. And of course, Salufu, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
And of course, we also have Francis, who is also joining us today on the program. Francis, welcome to today's edition of Sports Orbit.
It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, we'll begin straight from the international friendly tonight. That's the Super Eagles versus Desert Foxes of Algeria. That match will be coming up 8 p.m. Nigerian time. And Super Eagles head coach Jose Peseiro has insisted that the Eagles have what it takes to beat the Desert Foxes in tonight's game. According to him, he said the team has trained well and have been trying to introduce some new dynamics to what they already have, especially in terms of tactics. He said some new methods that will be good for our teams, and he also said that the players have been adapting well to the players to the tactics both on and off the pitch. He said we are going to play against a good team. It won't be easy, but we have the quality. We will fight hard to beat them. Of course, Peseiro will be without the services of some key players, which includes William Chus, Ekong, Wilfred Didi, the likes of Ahmed Musa, Leon Balogun, Samuel Chukwueze, Emmanuel Dennis also is out of that game. So for Peseiro, like you said, clearly the Eagles possess what it takes to beat the Desert Foxes, even though uh, the Eagles team A side lost to what some refer to as the team B side of the Algerians in the match on Friday. Sorry, 2-2 actually, to the team B. So,
Quite agree with Peseiro. You don't even need to emphasize if we have what it takes, we have the qualities, we have the players, we have everything. All you need to play any teams, not just Algeria team. Coming against any team in the world, we have the style of how the players to play. And I believe that just like he said, he's determined to win, and we can't expect anything less than the victory. Although the result is not most important, it's just a friendly match. But it will be glad for Nigeria to see their team beating Algeria once again. More importantly, that if you look at our record against Algeria in recent time, the last three matches we have also Algeria. So we need to bounce back against Algeria and prove that yes, we are still also very confident when it comes to the game of football in Africa. And despite notwithstanding the absence to the key players, and Peseiro and his team technical people have an absolute full length of times. They have proven they have been there for almost a week, more than a week. So I believe he has accustomed themselves, acclimatized with themselves, the players, and have what the player may have understanding his tactic and the tactic want to prepare tonight's match.
Yeah, Francis, I mean, looking at today's game, Nigeria is missing some key players for this encounter. Are you looking at the situation where if Nigeria does not, get a win over Algeria, will that be an excuse for Coach Peseiro to say, we lost that game because some of our key players were not, in action for the match?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, we know that the key players being there is also going to give them morale to win the match. But at this point, we know we have youngsters that are hungry to prove to Nigerians that I'm a worthy Nigerian. I'm worthy to represent Nigeria in the sports world. We have enough talent. So President should just, we know that he is already doing his job. So he should just complete it and tell us that Nigeria not qualifying for World Cup is a mistake. But this is ready to prove to us that he's a good coach and he can do even without the key players. I understand that is a hitch to the game, but to an extent, young players can still prove themselves. At a moment like this, that's when we see young players step up and then prove to us that they are capable of being appointed to the national team. So I am tipping Nigeria to win this particular one and also to revenge, because I'm still like stuck in the past that Algeria won us in one of our previous meetings. So I want Nigeria to revenge this particular and use this particular one to tell them, even though that you guys won us the last time, here's an opportunity for us to still tell you guys that we are ahead of you guys in football in Africa.
All right. Well, we'll see how that pans out, that match.
If I may add, just like Francis said, if you look at the team, Despite although there's a program, and then our first if you look at Super Eagles team at the moment, both our team B, our first team 11 can be considered as the first team. Despite the key name we mentioned, we still have stars, quality players in the team. People like Vivasi, people like Olaina. In the defense line, despite they were going for another troops not available, we still have Kevin Vivasi, we have Olaina, we still have Kenneth Merwo, and the rest within that time. Even see what they are still there. If you come to the midfield, we still have a full length of Ikelishi Henashaw, Ejiras, and Alex Iwobi, and the rest. You come to the attacking line. So I believe Peseiro still have a full length of squad. All he needs is just 11 players on the pitch and possibly 4 other players on the bench. So he still have full length of players to confront Nigeria and give us the result. And it is an opportunity, just like you say that it will be an excuse for him to say. I don't think he will be looking for an excuse. And that is why he said that he has what it takes to win the match. And
all right.
To him, if you won the match, you win the match.
All right, the talking will be done on the pitch tonight, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and we'll keep an eye on that one. Away from that now to the Fuji House of Commotion of the Nigerian Football Federation, where, of course, they've written to FIFA in a fresh bid to postpone the forthcoming elections, which was supposed to, by now, should have been warming up for the elections in a couple of days' time, but in a letter signed by General Secretary Mohamed Sanusi, the football body is accusing the federal government of interfering in football matters. The NFF also told the FIFA that the country's judiciary is also interfering in the affairs of football in the country. Authoritative sources disclosed that the latest move of the Amaju Pinnick-led board was aimed at getting an approval to shift the election and remain in power for a few more months. It was further revealed that the reply of FIFA to the letter was also forwarded to the Permanent Secretary to the Minister of Sport. But a stakeholder who, preferred anonymity was actually not happy about the development, which he termed as an affront on the federal government by, the NFF. He said, "Why is the NFF always running to FIFA to threaten everyone? This same body will run to government and sponsors for money. But when people talk about the aspirations, they shout interference. Nigerian law is superior to any other law. These officials are taking the country for a ride. They should be charged with contempt and also investigated." So, once again, every day there's always something new coming out from the NFF as regards the election. Yesterday, it was first like a rumor initially when we heard that a letter might have been sent to FIFA, but from the way it is, looks like that's actually the case because FIFA has actually written a reply to the Ministry of Sports.
Well, if you look at the content of the letter, they say it's a move by the Amaju Pinnick-led board to postpone the election.
Yeah.
The Amaju Pinnick-led
To
board
extend their board for a few months, actually.
The current NFF body, for understand their mood and understand their body language, they're not even interested in postponing the election. They're trying to force. They're trying to force the government hand. They're trying to force this the court hand to ensure that they go ahead with the elections. And it will not all go well for this country. I don't know a situation whereby you treat yourself and through your own law, your own country to the background, and try to promote other associations at the height of above your own law. For instance, the FIFA president, Fatino, can in all sense downgrade the Italians law.
The Swiss law, actually.
The Swiss law. Okay, for instance, even if Fatino at the moment there was a time he has a case in the Swiss ordinary law court, and he go to the court every day. The Blatter, if Fatino, even the case between FIFA, the case of corruption between FIFA versus Latino, FIFA versus the man from France, former UEFA president, Platini, is in the ordinary court, not in the court of arbitration. So why are we, when it comes to Nigeria, they say Nigeria football matters cannot go to court? You have in Nigeria, the participants in Nigeria are citizens of Nigeria. They are private citizens of Nigeria, and if they feel their right is being infringed upon, they have a right to go to court and challenge their decisions. But I wonder why they say, but what? That's just to be, but from all it's in, I don't even think the election is not going to hold, because even as I was on my way to this, on my way to the studio, I just see it on my phone that even the Professional Football Association, PFM, have went to court again
to withdraw the case.
not to withdraw the case, for contempt charge. To ask for a contempt charge against the NFL participants or the presidential candidates who are still campaigning.
So as it stands, it's a breach of elections holding on 30th.
I'm not sure, because it is a breach of court. If there's an injunction that's stopping the election, and you are still moving around talking about the election campaigning, you are breaching the court law. Completely. So, and then if the player, have asked court to charge a contempt against these individuals.
All right.
At the same time, even the election is fixed for Benin. There's another even angle to the story. Even the citizens of Edo, the youth in Edo, have also threatened that nobody should near their city, near their state. But on the protest, they were alleging that one of their own, if you remember, Mike Obo, former Swan chairman in Kano, from Edo State, former chairman in Kano, Swan chairman, and at the same time, former Daily Trust correspondent, and reporting for several media. But who died recently? There was an alleged that one of the aspirants owed him money. Okay. And that they alleged that the way he was treated, they were complaining that the way he was treated, and that nobody NFF should step their toe on in Edo for the election.
All right, move away from that now to some other news where it's been revealed that Wilfred Ndidi might be back in action as early as this weekend, after it was reported that he picked up an injury. But of course, Coach Peseiro had explained that Leicester City's fitness team had passed on a message to the Super Eagles to say that the player had complained of a hamstring injury following the club's 6-2 defeat to Tottenham prior to the international break. But I mean, there's something not, like I said here, there's something not adding up. If the club actually had sent a message saying this guy is injured, why still go ahead and invite him and he comes to camp and he can't play and he's going back to England again?
I feel this form of PR on trying to cover this image, because if you had complained, I don't see any reason Peseiro inviting him to come to the camp. Yeah. I once heard I logged on to Twitter and then saw where a sports journalist called Ndidi out and said that the coach actually told Ndidi to play a defense line. The previous position he played, yes. And then Ndidi said he can't play. The next thing he said he's injured, that he can't play, and then he left for Leicester. And now they're telling us that he's going to be back to Nottingham to face Nottingham Forest
this weekend.
So who is deceiving who now? So I feel like it's a case of trying to, I know I've messed up, but then the media is there to cover me. So at this point, they should just cover me and protect my image as a player. But it's not done. Your country comes first before your club. Yeah. So you owe your country, even if the coach, if you play this particular position for your club, then tell me, if you have problems playing that particular position, you just have to tell your coach, I can't do this, I can't play this, I find it difficult playing, and then pairing with this person. So it's not for the coach to know the best tactics to employ and then know where to fit you in your best position that suits your strength. So I feel this is just trying to play Nigerians.
I mean, if a coach invites you, a lot of players, were invited for one reason or the other, didn't turn up due to injury. Nobody had forced him to come. So like I said yesterday, and it's been flying around, some of these coaches were not even happy releasing their players for what they termed an unimportant international friendly.
So it's an African player.
Exactly, for what's termed an unimportant international friendly, especially in the early stages of the season, and only for us. And same from what he said, I heard that story too, that he was asked to be played in the central defense, but he said no, he's going to keep playing in the defensive midfield, and as a result of that, he had to fly back. We'll get back to that when we come back from this break. Don't go nowhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
All right, welcome back from that break. Still Sports Orbit. Well, before we went on that break, we were on this NTT his injury, whether it's actually a real injury or just a ploy by the club to ensure that he comes back in time to prosecute what they term more important games, as long as they are concerned.
If we accept the another twins that you people have just added to the story, was if the club have sent a statement to the national team that
before he was
exactly that this particular player has an injury, and the national team said that he come and he decided to turn up, because sometimes we always feel that national club always give skills, and he decided on this, and let me just show the club and prove to people that yes, my club is not famine and excuse that they are also truly injured and decided to present them to be assessed by the Nigerian doctor. To me, that is patriotic. I wanted to, okay, I'm injured, but for your country to believe you present yourself for the national team to be assessed by the team doctor, by the national team doctor. But it's except the another twins that he was asked to play defensive mid, to play in the central defender, and he feel that that is not his best position, and if he decided on his own to walk out of the team, which I'm not so sure that what will happen, decided one of that to be very bad on his own court. He's a very decent player, a very patriotic player that we have never, since he's breaking into the national team, I've never heard anything about negatives or anything indisciplined attitudes on his part towards the national team. He has always made himself available anytime. This is the first time, in fact, this is the first time we're hearing that ADD having about issues with the national team concerning ADD. And I think we have to give him the benefit of that, because he has always made himself available anytime Nigeria has invited him, and he has always shown discipline.
All right, we'll share that point, because I feel if the team doctor had assessed him and he still went on to play, it means there's a disconnect somewhere. If Leicester are saying he's injured because he was actually supposed to play in those matches, but we heard nothing until some few days to the game. Anyway, we'll see how that pans out during the weekend if you actually feature against Nottingham Forest. Anyway, to some basketball now, where for the FIFA ranking, Nigeria's men's basketball team has moved up 2 places in the latest FIBA ranking, despite not doing too well in their recent outing. Currently, Nigeria are first in Africa, while Tunisia second in Africa, while Senegal third, while Angola make up the top 4. Cote d'Ivoire number 5 as it stands, the rankings there on the table. So, I mean, like we always talk about rankings every now and then, you'll expect that after the not too impressive showing of the Tigers, maybe they should have dropped a few spots, but they are moving up instead.
Yeah, that's quite ironic. Sometimes they don't understand the yardstick and the statistic using in this ranking. I'm surprised that Nigeria is still keeping this position as number 1 basketball team in Africa. Went to the Cote d'Ivoire, couldn't qualify. But if you look at our pedigrees and what we have achieved in the past, and maybe we may have lost the point, but if they say Nigeria will maintain our positions, that would have To me, that would have been setting. But to say we also earn a point, that's why not doing well. That's a little surprise about it.
That's it because it's monthly ranking, so I feel it should be your performance in the previous months.
Monthly and based on performance, and
exactly.
If you look at our performance after the Olympics, we have not been too fantastic. We went to there was one event in Rwanda, African champion, Afro basketball in Rwanda. We couldn't do well. Went for World Cup qualifier in Cote d'Ivoire, still didn't excel, but still we are still being earning more points and maintain African number one position. Well, congratulations to the Tigers.
All right, to some boxing now. Recall that what was looking like, the greatest fight by Britain in a long time looks like it might finally be off, as yesterday Tyson Fury declared that he will not be fighting Anthony Joshua again, as the contract his team sent, according to him, has not been signed. Recall that last week we had heard that he had sent the contract papers to Joshua's people, but Joshua was yet to sign, and he said he had given him a 5 p.m. deadline, which was yesterday, to sign. And the whole thing is looking very messy. But from what Joshua's camp said on Saturday, they said it's not like they are not ready to sign the contract. They are ready to sign the contract, but there are some details in the contract that they are not really, comfortable with. And until that is addressed, but Fury's team didn't address the contract, and all of a sudden you wake up to say you're no more fighting. For me, I think this was just a ploy by Fury to be in the news. I know Fury loves being in the news all the time. I don't think he was actually ready to fight Joshua.
I just feel like he's just more trying to do a publicity.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because maybe he felt that Joshua having lost his last fight, and then it's now a time for him to pre-on, and then people actually sent this to Joshua, and then out of fear or out of being a coward, he had to back out of the fight. So I think Fury should just, since they've already said that there are terms in the contract that we're not comfortable with. Yeah. If you can come, we can negotiate, and then the fight will still go. He already ran to Instagram and said, it's 5 p.m. and then why didn't you honor?
Wait, actually, because we'll say, okay, finalize the details of, we are saying this contract is not too favorable to us.
Let's find the level ground.
Exactly. And instead of doing that, you run to social media to say, no, it's 5 p.m. You haven't signed contract. We are no longer fighting.
I feel that is just being a coward.
But I think Fury is just being smart about it.
That's what I said. Fury is not ready to fight. He loves publicity a lot.
He's not ready for
this
fight.
Yes, because Fury has not been in the news for a while.
Or probably, not even probably. I think he's afraid of Joshua. That is what the way I feel. Because if you are the one that proposing the fight,
exactly. Joshua was minding
Joshua was minding and trying.
Don't forget that he had proposed to Yusuf. Yusuf said, "No, I'm not fighting this year again. Yes. Let's leave it till next year." And he met Joshua.
So you are the one looking for a fight,
exactly.
And then you submitted the contact for him. The best thing, okay, which area you don't agree? Let us put it on the table. Let us analyze. Are you forcing him to fight it by all costs?
He's trying to back out smartly.
That's what it is. I mean, I think
he discovered that if you go into this fight, you lose the fight, and that's what he just pulled out.
Basically.
Yeah, if the whole reaction on the Twitter is so disturbing that everybody is attacking him, everyone is condemning that in fact you are not even interested
in the fight.
If you are interested in the fight, you have to exercise all the patience. You are not talking to a kid here. You are talking to a mature man.
You can't say somewhere a
professional
and say I'm giving you 5 p.m. on Monday.
It's not your child.
It's not
your wife.
Exactly.
Even your wife, you can't command your wife that you must do this within immediately. Your wife have his own right to think about something because align with you, or agree with you.
No, clearly I think Fury wasn't ready to fight. Knowing who Fury is over the years, Fury is someone who always loves the spotlight to be him. Whenever he's not in the news, he always finds a way of doing something
instead of going quietly.
Yes, he always likes doing the news. So I think this is one of the, and he has achieved his aim. For the past 2 weeks, people have been talking about him. Yes. So I think he achieved that aim. Anyway, to some football news where Barcelona defender Ronald Arau will undergo surgery. Of course, in an injury he picked up in the international match when he featured for Uruguay, and with that surgery, he is likely to miss the World Cup. And I mean, that's a sad one for the young man who is just trying to break through the ranks at Barcelona since coming on for the team. And this is one of the reasons why coaches, club coaches are always against
afraid of losing their
international, especially when it comes to friendly. Some will say friendly internationals for them. Most times they don't even want coaches to call up their big players. They always say use fringe players for international friendlies. If it's a qualifier, we can understand, but this is just a friendly. Why call all of your big players?
But sometimes you lose your capability.
No, exactly to assess again. Don't forget that the World Cup is just by the corner.
By the corner.
Yeah.
Particularly if a team that has a World Cup,
Yeah.
you can't downgrade the strength of the playing the friendly matches. So, but we feel for the young guys, and we hope that they wish him well. He recover before the World Cup. He's created that he missed the World Cup, but we pray that he recover before the World Cup.
Coming back before
he likely
because
misses. He likely
He
because he said
likely
he'll be
make
out
the
for a minimum of 3 months. So
That's so sad.
exactly. Well, to some UEFA Nations League matches that played yesterday, Italy defeated Hungary to book a place in the semi-final spot. While for England versus Germany, it was a thrilling encounter. 3-3 ended up after Germany had gone up 2-0 in that one, and it looked like another defeat for Gareth Southgate side, but they did well to level back and level up. But even at that, they have still been relegated to the UNL League B, while Italy are off to the semi-final of the UEFA Nations League.
I think that's a good one for Southgate, at least to hold on to, even if they are going to sack him. Because I have already started hearing rumors that they're going to sack him.
If you have lose that match, that would be very.
If he doesn't play well. So
But
I feel like
I think English fans can take something like that. If you can draw against them, then you still have a team to play at the World Cup.
trying to salvage the situation from 2-0 down to going on to 3-2 and then 3-3 is a good one for him because England has been losing. They even lost to Hungary.
Yeah.
Imagine a whole 3 Lions losing to Hungary. It shows that I think they should just go and celebrate. This is a win for them actually. And then Italy also. This is also to prove to people that we couldn't make the World Cup also, but we are still at our own best.
Yeah.
So I feel like the game was entertaining, and then we saw a very, very game that was filled with tactics, and then every coach trying to outplay each other, but it still ended up on the good parts for Southgate. I'm speaking for Southgate now. It ended favoring him because to draw Germany is not an easy one. So he achieved a good one there.
All right, so matches will also go down today. Of course, the star match clearly Portugal against Spain in that one. Switzerland, Czech Republic of Ireland versus Armenia, Ukraine against Scotland, Albania, Iceland, while Serbia will take on Norway in that one. It will be Sweden against Slovenia, Greece versus Northern Ireland as Kosovo welcome Cyprus in the other match of the day. So quickly, Portugal, Spain.
Yeah, that's the style match. That's what you said, and everybody would like to watch this match tonight, and then it's going to be an interesting encounter for the two sides. But definitely, it will be very difficult to predict when it's going to go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these two sides, whenever they come up against each other, it's
It's
always
always
a
a tug of
50-50.
war. Yeah, so
It has been that they are neighbors. So it's almost like the Iberian derby, actually.
Because if you look at the Spain team now, it's not the Spain
that we used to know. Yeah.
No, but no doubt, even at that,
like,
Spain still has
they still have
a
a
very
score. What
decent
it's
squad.
like if you look at the Spain team that won Euro 2008, won the 2010
South
World
Africa
Cup.
2010.
South Africa was a World Cup. That era of Xavi Hernandez, Iniesta, Fabregas, all of them. It's like those clubs. But the tradition of producing another successful team to have that kind of team again, it will take French, Spanish for a very long time before they have that complete squad. What they have within the 2008 down to 2014.
I mean, looking at the match from their previous meeting, from their previous meeting, I'll tip it a draw. But looking at their present situation now and then how hungry Portugal is, I think I'll be giving it to Portugal to come out of that game victorious because watching Spain last match, I don't think that they have that hunger in them to go on and win a match and come out being victorious. So I feel like Portugal has the upper hand here to come out of the game victorious.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that one. Comes up 8:45 Nigerian time. Don't forget the Super Eagles will also be in action, although a bit at 8 p.m. that one. Well, that's where we'll draw the curtain on today's edition of Sports Orbit. Salifu, thank you for being in the studio today.
Thank you.
Right, Francis, thanks for having you on today's edition. Also, on Sports Orbit today also.
My pleasure to be here.
All right, until we come your way tomorrow again, midweek edition of Sports Orbit. Stay safe out there. My name is Afacho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.